everybody. Welcome to Hallmarkies podcast. And we're really excited today. We are here to talk about the June movies on Hallmark and Hallmark Mysteries. It's going to be really fun. And I'm film critic Rachel Wagner, and Dara's here.
Hey
Dara!
y'all. Woo, woo. How's everybody doing?
Good. How has your summer been?
Summer's hot. Like we've already hit the
Roasting.
hundreds here in Philly, and
Yeah.
it's been torture. So this is my hibernation season. I just pop out for 4th of July, go to the beach, and then I go back into my cave in the air condition. And
So
then
jealous.
that's because
I love the beach so much. I'm so jealous when
oh
you get to go to the beach. But yeah, I know it's true. Right now my air conditioner is hanging on for dear life. It's being
oh
really loud, and it's be thousands of dollars to repair. And I'm just like, please, please, I
yes.
can't afford it right now. So
So yeah, it's
uh,
living on a prayer for real, huh?
yeah, please send up your prayers for my air conditioner, please. Really help.
Because this is the worst time for it to clunk out on us. No, we need you,
Yeah.
Rachel's air conditioner. We need you.
Yes. But but I would say that this June
Yes.
has been very strong for Hallmark.
Yes.
And it's a little bit I only loved one of the three movies that we're going to talk about, but like
Mm-hmm.
because we talked about the other two that I loved, the Barcelona movies. I talked about them
Mm-hmm.
in a different episode.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I thought they had three really strong films in
Yeah.
June.
Agreed
Really
wholeheartedly.
strong. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm
Yeah.
normally not into the travel movies. Normally they're,
Really?
yes, normally they're snoozeville. It's not interesting to me to watch other people go on vacation. The story, I need I mean, I'll never forget that Andrew Walker staring at walls movie. Well, and I will never forget, you're in Malta. Why are we staring at this for so long? I mean, there have been good ones, but a lot of them have been bad.
No, you are absolutely right. For me, I felt like the setting always outweighed everything
Yeah.
else. For me, it was the Greek movie Love's Greek to Me with Tori
Ooh,
DeVito,
that was bad.
and that the mother-in-law, like literally the
Yeah, that was
monster-in-law, like
painful.
I
Yeah, that
that
was
movie
painful.
physically made me upset. Like
Yeah,
I
it's
had a
really
physical
bad.
reaction because of how bad and like
Yeah.
awful those characters were.
Yeah,
So
that one
I
was,
completely agree with you. This is the strongest like group of
yeah.
destination movies we've had in a long, like
Yeah.
long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So way to go, Hallmark. You did it. I thought both those Barcelona movies were great.
Yes.
And then one of the ones that we're going to talk about, because we're talking about three films today:
Mhm.
Villa Amore, A Machu Picchu Proposal, and A Pie to Die For, Hannah Swensen mystery. One
Mm-mm-mm.
out of the three, I would recommend.
Whoa.
Yeah. So that's why I
Okay.
wanted to lead with the fact I actually feel really positive about the month. It's just like how we happen to divide everything up
Okay.
is sort of weird. But
I'm very interested to hear your take now.
yes. um, so yeah, and we were talking a little off mic about our disappointment. No Christmas in July movies.
Yeah.
They've got the holidays, but we'd already
Yeah.
covered that. We'd already seen it. And if you think about it, they've had two of their best movies as Christmas in July movies of recent years.
Yes.
Take Me Back to Christmas, all timer, one of the
Yes.
best ever.
Yes.
And then
Yes.
Rescuing Christmas was so good. Those
Yes.
two all timers. And so it does feel like a loss to not be getting.
Now, did you know Rescuing Christmas was a Hallmark Movies Now? Like it was
Oh,
similar to
yeah.
where it came on Hallmark Movies Now first, and then they aired it for Christmas in July the next year.
Oh, that's right. Was it
Yeah.
oh, I got that switched in my mind. I was thinking that they aired it Christmas July first, but yeah, you're right. But still, that one was
It's
really good.
strong, so
Yeah,
strong. And
really good.
I have a soft spot for Campfire Christmas too.
Oh yeah, another good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That one was really, really
It's
good.
been a good time. And I think but like they mean more because we've been away from it, the
Yes.
deluge
Yes.
the holidays is so fun, but having a little bit of space, it's like, oh, okay.
Yes. And I think
Uh,
giving us one, like I think it was 2021 where they just gave us one and it was crashing through the snow. And I'm
oh,
like,
that's
that,
another good one. You're right.
yes. And I'm like, that I would even take that, like
Oh
just
yeah.
one new movie and then,
Yeah.
let us breathe and let us enjoy the classics. Like I would have even taken that.
Yeah.
But they said no to everything.
Yeah,
So
it's true.
yeah.
It's true.
Ho, ho, ho. We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies Patreon.
Do you love Hallmarkies podcast, especially at Christmas?
Do you enjoy the holiday previews, recaps, interviews, and bonus episodes?
If the answer is yes, please consider supporting the Hallmarkies Patreon. We need your help to do what we do both during the Christmas season and all year round.
But not only do you help a podcast led by strong, independent women by becoming a Patreon, you get to become a part of the Hallmarkies family.
Starting at only $2 a month as a patron, you will have access to our Facebook Patreon group where we talk about the movies, shows, and more all year.
We also have many monthly patron watch-alongs with guests like Lacey Chabert, Natalie Hall, Paul Campbell, Mary Lou Henner, and more, giving their behind-the-scenes details of their films.
As a patron, you also have the chance to provide input into the podcast and even join us at different tiers.
So this Christmas season, spread some cheer to the Hallmarkies Patreon and become a member today. You won't regret it.
Go to patreon.com/hallmarkies to learn more.
That's patreon.com/Hallmarkies.
Let's dive in and talk about these three movies.
Let's do it.
Well, I'm not going to do them in order of air because I don't want to start off. I want to mix up the ones that yeah. So let's talk about A Machu Picchu Proposal.
All right.
This is was on the 28th of June. Stars Rhiannon Fish, Alex Santos, director Colin Faze, writer Julianne Wimbles. And I was very hopeful about this because I was a fan of A Costa Rican Wedding, and Juliana Wimbles wrote A Costa Rican Wedding, and of course starred Rhiannon Fish. And the plot sounded pretty fun. It's Katie agrees to join her brother Dan and his girlfriend Luciana on a trip to Peru. Dan plans to propose to Luciana in a grand way at Machu Picchu at the end of the week and needs Katie's Spanish-speaking skills to ask Luciana's Peruvian father for his blessing. However, when Luciana's friend, Chef Carlos, arrives, he accidentally ruins each proposal attempt. Refusing to give up, Katie does everything in her power to make this proposal happen. Until Dan calls it off, Katie must lean into Chef Carlos's spontaneity to not only save the day and the proposal, and Carlos may just win Katie's heart too. That sounds super fun. I'm on board. I think I gave it a top preview score. I really thought I was going to like this and I didn't end up liking it. And I think it's pretty hard to make Rhiannon unlikable, but I think that this movie achieved that. Like she was not reasonable in the way that she was demanding to control her brother and this proposal, and wanting it to be something that he didn't even want, and then being angry with him for him wanting to do it his own way, and being like, you never go, you always give up, and you never want to go the full mile with things, and just kind of lecturing him about his own proposal.
I didn't believe it. I was like, this conflict cannot be real right now.
Yeah,
like,
it was
can't be arguing him about, like you said, about his own proposal and what he wants to do.
It was a terrible proposal. And I also thought that this movie was not up to my standards as far as Hallmark production. I'm guessing that it was just a tough place to film. I felt like every line was ADR'd. It felt like,
wow. So you listened to it with headphones on?
Well, no, I was just watching it on Hallmark Plus on
Oh, and
my
you can
laptop.
tell. Oh, wow.
Oh yeah, there was some bad ADR that was not done well,
Wow. Okay.
and pretty much all of it. It was sometimes ADR can be seamless. You don't even know.
Yeah.
Then other times, I'm guessing because it was so windy, it looked really windy, and I think that's
Mm,
why they probably had to ADR a lot. But
hmm.
it wasn't done well to me. And I don't know, there were just other things like that where I was like, "Ooh, this looks more like one of the movies that you might see on like Tubi or Up or the level of and sometimes those can be amazing and I like
Yes.
those, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying as far as the production quality, it was not on the level. I didn't feel the budget the way that I usually do for Hallmark.
Yeah, I completely agree with you in terms of overall impression. Like I actually wasn't looking forward to this one from the jump, Rachel, from the title alone. I just thought, oh, the title felt like I'm like, you couldn't think of anything else more like captivating. It seemed very
Yeah.
plain and store brand, kind of great value. And I was just like, okay. And for me, it wasn't Rhiannon that was unlikable, like the character, excuse me, Katie. It was Chef Carlos that was very unlikable to me.
Mhm.
Like what came off, what you read in the synopsis, what they thought was spontaneity felt just like frantic, like frenetic.
Mm.
Like it came off like he didn't know. It reminded me of Lacey J. Mailey's character from Betty's Bad Luck and Love, how she described
Mm.
herself as like this anxious chihuahua. Like
Yeah.
that's what he reminded me of, but in a not so good way. And it felt like he just kept inserting himself into everything. Like when they first meet and he like grabbed some of her food, it was just like, excuse me, may I? And I'm like, he didn't even have a
Yeah.
reason for tasting it. He just did it. And I was like, is that supposed to be spontaneous? Like he
Yeah.
just came off like he just
Well,
his character just wasn't
yeah,
I
they
was
were
with his
both kind
character.
of controlling and just not, the chemistry was not there. And
Yeah.
I really do sincerely love both of these actors. I think they are really good.
Yeah.
Just didn't work.
No, no. And I think I was like, man, we could have, I mean, God bless Peru, but we could have used this money for something else.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
really could
Well, and
have.
to be honest, the movie didn't have that much Machu Picchu.
That and that's what I'm talking about. Like when they put the actual like city or destination in the title, I want to see that. Like then show me Machu Picchu. But they if
Yeah.
yeah, I
Like
yeah, I just this wasn't it.
I thought it was gonna be like that Dayspring movie we just got. I forget what it was called
Oh, with
with
the
Aaron Cahill,
yes,
where
journey to something.
they're on the
Yeah.
Appalachian Trail like the whole
Yes.
time,
Yeah.
and then they sort of fall in love on the trail.
Yeah.
And I thought that's okay. That's what it's gonna be. It's gonna be like that, but it's gonna be Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that that's all very expensive and difficult. I get it, but we didn't get very much Machu
No.
Picchu, so it didn't even have that much sort of uh it didn't even have that much vacation porn kind of fun.
Yeah. It felt
Eh,
stressful too. Like
yeah.
I don't want to feel stressed, you know? And I just, yeah, this movie didn't hit for me at all. And it's sad that they ended it, with this in terms of the Hallmark Channel lineup. But yeah, this one wasn't it.
Yeah, it was a bummer because I was thinking, man, if this is good, I thought, oh, it's got to be good. Like, look at this great cast. It's a good writer.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it might have worked better if they had, like they did with Costa Rican Wedding, if they leaned into the comedy a little bit more, if they made it a
Yeah.
little bit silly, but it was like kind of serious.
Yeah. And we've seen like Rhiannon can do silly and goofy if you let her
Mm-hmm.
and if the character warrants it. But I think, and you know what's crazy? I had Costa Rican wedding PTSD because when she took her brother's ring, I was like, oh no,
Yeah, that was
she's gonna lose
unhinged.
it.
I thought
I
so too.
I legit thought, and this was like I didn't say it out loud, but I thought I was like, oh my gosh, no, not again. She's gonna lose it. And then I was thinking Costa Rican wedding all over again.
That was unhinged that she took that. I was like, this is crazy. It's not even your proposal. Like, it's that was and make him like have a panic attack. He can't find it. Like, that was crazy.
It was there was some wild like this movie felt very weird to me too. Like there was some like the dancing scene moment with her and the chef where it felt like I was on acid a little bit when they were slowing down.
Yeah.
But he like wasn't looking at her, and then he ended up dancing with her and then twirling her off and like bowing in respect. I was like,
It
what?
was weird.
It
Yeah, I
was
agree.
very weird.
Um,
Very weird.
if you want to see a movie that's somewhat similar to this, that I think's a lot better. It does have some ADR issues, but is Lifetime Merry Xmas. Did you ever see that? Merry Xmas?
Oh, I think I started it but never finished it because
I
that
loved
sounds
it.
familiar.
I
Yes.
loved it. It does have some audio problems, which I don't know why they did that, but very, very cute story. This guy gets in this family text chain or whatever, gets
Mm-hmm.
added,
Mm-hmm.
and starts chatting through various conferences. He ends up going with them to Mexico on this like
Wow.
family trip because he's kind of become part of the family, right? And it was really fun, really charming, cute, and they did a much better job in that movie of like it was in Oaxacan, Mexico. It was
Oh
in
wow.
Oaxaca,
Okay.
Mexico. And they did a much better job in that movie of like introducing you to like there's a tradition where they break the plates, and there's one where
Okay.
they make these kind of sculptures, these
Yeah.
um and they just did a better job of kind of introducing to the unique parts where
Yeah.
is in this one it felt like it felt almost like an infomercial for
Thank you.
Peru.
Thank you. Like that's one of my pet peeves with our destination movies is like I feel like I'm watching a documentary and I expect Stanley
Yeah.
Tucci to come up there and start talking about where we're going next because it doesn't feel organic to the story. It just
Yeah.
feels like okay, here's some information about where we are so you can know something about the culture. Like it just
Yeah.
that's one of my pet peeves.
Yeah, like the whole chocolate demonstration, the cocoa
Yeah.
beans and everything, like
Yeah.
it felt like a PSA versus like part of the
Yeah.
plot and the story.
Yeah.
And one thing that was surprising about this movie is that they had Rhiannon in a two-piece swimsuit. I
Yeah.
think that is the first time I've ever seen that in a Hallmark.
Well, if you remember Love in the Maldives with Jocelyn Houdon and her then fiance, she was wearing some very kind of
Um,
spicy swimsuits. If you remember, her
I forgot about
swimsuits were
that one.
very spicy compared to what Rhiannon wore.
I feel like Jocelyn forgot about that movie as well. Like everybody's forgotten about that movie.
But wait, I found out Juliana wrote that movie too.
Ah,
Yeah, so
we
it
should
kind
have
of
her on the
yeah,
podcast. She definitely her Costa Rican wedding
that's
top
and
tier,
she wrote This
top
Time Each
tier.
Year with Allison Sweeney and Now Mater that came out last year.
Oh, I didn't like that one that
You
much.
did it.
No, that's the one where he's an alcoholic, right?
Yeah, got a DUI and they trying to fake marry. Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't like awful. It wasn't awful, but I thought it was very weird the way that they were pretending they like you can't
oh,
use the word DUI in a Hallmark movie, I
I
guess. Like
yeah,
it was
yeah,
that was strange. But anyway, every writer has their hits and misses.
yes,
It's fine.
yeah.
Um, but I did like the like cute little move. I did like the cute little moment where they're watching the silent film.
Oh
They're
wow.
that the the Seventh Heaven.
Oh, that was probably when I was buying concert tickets because after a
Okay.
while, I legit there
Like
was a
that was
moment that
cozy.
I
That's
okay,
like a romantic fantasy to me, like watching an obscure black and white film with
yeah.
somebody dreamy and being like, oh, that's very romantic to me.
Was this when they were at
Um,
the pool?
yeah,
Oh, okay, okay, then
yeah, they
yes,
had
yeah,
the movie on and they were that was fun.
yes, okay,
Um, there were a lot of near kisses in this, and I'm just
yeah,
like, but not like one of them was somebody actually coming in to the room, which is more understandable than the one where her phone rings. And I'm like, you would never in a million years, you would never take that phone call. You would kiss. And then, I mean, most people that I know don't even have their phones on anymore. They don't take calls. They just wait for it to get to the message and then they call the person back.
yeah.
You
The
know,
one movie I respect this is a oldie but goodie. Flip That Romance with Tyler and Julie.
Oh
And
yeah, that was.
Julie.
Oh yes,
When
yes.
the
You're
phone
absolutely
rings,
right.
but then he finished what he started, and I was like, kudos,
Yeah,
kudos.
because the problem with the near kiss is that I think in reality, I don't think as far as like the progression of a relationship, I don't think that there would be that big of a difference between the results of a near kiss versus a kiss,
Yeah.
right? Like I think if I near kiss somebody, I still think it would have like almost the same kind of implications and like weight as a kiss. And I get that they want to do it because it's just kind of tantalizing and tempting. I understand that, but it especially when it's like it's not reasonable. Like there's no
Yes.
human being that's
Yes.
not gonna kiss because of a phone call. If it's another person or a kid or an animal, something like that, okay, like I can get it. But I do like it when they make the near kiss kind of part of the plot, like in
That's the thing.
like Two Turtle Doves, where Michael Rady, and he says like,
Yes.
I want to kiss you, you're leaving and I don't want to.
Yes.
So there was like, it's part of the plot. Then
Yes.
that's more romantic, I think, than oh my gosh, I could kiss you, but I'm going to answer this phone call.
Like, just make it organic to the story. Make it part of the story. I think ultimately that's just what we want, to not feel like you have to include it because it's like a beat of all Hallmark movies, but make it really organic to what we're seeing, to the plot and to the story. Yeah.
I mean, they did like deep dive into Peruvian culture more than some films do.
Mm-hmm.
Like it wasn't just sort of your super touristy things, and I do appreciate that. Like that. I mean, I've never been there, but the that whole thing with the cactus and finding the bugs in the cactus.
Oh yes,
that was kind of fun, I thought, and building they built that whole pit.
Yeah,
but they didn't. The weird thing about that whole pit is they didn't really have the payoff. You never saw them actually eating. They just put it up and then that was it. I want to see how it all turned out.
Wow,
so
I never thought about that. But that for me though, Rachel, even though we did see a lot of and I appreciated the textile part when she was making like the wool poncho or whatever it was.
That was
I
fun.
thought that was really beautiful to see. But I think for me, like too much of that gives me infomercial. Like that's the thing, where too much of this is what we do, or this is what we call it here, or this is what that it gives off very infomercial like to me. So I can only take
they would get into that. You only have to explain things if it like as you only have to explain things if it like actually matters that we understand it, right?
Yes.
All that matters is that we need to know, how is this impacting the character, right?
Yes. Or moving the plot forward.
This is something that they get wrong in a lot of the Hanukkah movies. So like, we don't need to understand the history of the Jacobees and the reasons behind the prayers and other stuff like that. All we need to know is this exists and it impacting the character this way.
Yeah.
Right? That's all we need to know. That this is a prayer and it's impacting my character in this way. Right. And so when like that one, I think it was the 8 gifts of Hanukkah was especially bad. They had a Gentile basically there at the party.
Not a Gentile.
Her whole entire role was to be the person that they explain every tradition to. This is why we do this, and this is why we do this. It doesn't matter. Like I think that's great that they do that, and I respect it and love it. But as far as the story, all that matters is this is what is impacting our character.
You have me a Gentile. I am crying. Yo, quick aside, that reminds me of like in The Reluctant Royal with Andrew Walker, when that guy who's supposed to be the villain called Andrew's character an uncircumcised Philistine. I cried.
because
that's
it
hilarious.
could even be just a completely made up tradition, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
like I use the example of in the show Heartland. In the show Heartland, they have a tradition where they have this beautiful fireplace mantle with
Okay.
stones made out of stones, and they assign a stone to each of the family members, and it's like they have this whole
Oh,
like kind of ceremony about it, and it's
okay.
like, and all that I need to know is that this matters to the characters. I
Yeah.
don't need to know anything else. It's a
Where
completely
the stone
made
was
up thing.
made,
Yeah,
how it
like
was
I don't need to know.
made.
All I need to know is this is important,
Yeah.
and this has meaning to the character. It can be
Yeah.
completely made up.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think they almost over worry about that. Like, oh my gosh, the audience is going to be confused. No, they're not.
Trust us.
You just
Believe
okay.
in us.
Yeah.
That we go get there.
Right. Yeah, we
That
got
we
it.
could do it.
Yeah, it's not we're adults here. It's not Sesame Street. Uh but anyway, but yeah, they made that pit cooking, and I guess I liked the whole thing with the cactus and the bugs, and because
Mm-hmm.
it was kind of continuing the story. It was the most
Mm-hmm.
like, because they had to, it was like a little bit risky, and her character was growing a little bit and trying something new, and so
Mm-hmm.
it furthered the characters, it furthered the story. It was I think the best section of the movie
Okay.
was that whole thing with getting that weird thing, and then the bugs and the, I don't know,
Yeah.
to me that was they had a near kiss there, like that whole
Yeah.
was pretty decent.
Yeah.
And then she gets in a fight with the brother, and I was like, I'm completely on his side. Why does she get to lecture him about how he could propose to, like, what? It was bizarre.
I
I didn't like that.
yeah, I thought the conflict was highly unwarranted and hot. Like I had already checked out because I was getting concert tickets at that point, but I really checked out
Yeah.
when they started arguing because I'm like, y'all know this is not even an issue. This
Like,
shouldn't
I
even be
know
an issue.
people that just were like, let's, you want to get married? Let's get married. Like, it doesn't have to be a big deal. Like, because it's, in the end of the day, it's about the marriage, not the wedding.
Yeah, and I understand. I was kind of seeing both sides because it's like you wanted me here to help you, and then I tried to help you, and you're mad at me. So even though the way she went about the help could have been better, but
Yeah, I guess
the
I could see
whole
that.
reason for her being on that trip was just to assist him with the proposal. Like that was and maybe taste some few ingredients and enlarge her palate a little bit, but I feel like that was
Yeah.
secondary. And how about her being a home ec teacher? Like as
Yeah.
a
Well, and like a hardcore. She's like going in on the summer and like
yeah,
a
I was like,
hardcore
whoa,
teacher.
okay, interesting profession choice. But I'm down. I'm down for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should have more home ec, not less.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Like people should graduate from high school. They should know how to cook a basic. I don't think that you need to know. I think if you know how to cook most of the major starches, that will go you a long way in like if you know how to if you know how to cook potatoes, pasta,
Rice.
and
Yeah.
rice, yeah, that will take you a long way in building recipes after that. You
Yeah.
know, that it will help you a lot. I think everybody should know how to make, yeah, either basic starches, at least like one meal for yourself that you can
Mm-hmm.
make for yourself, and you should know how to sew on a button.
I
You
still
should
don't
know how,
know.
like there should just be like basic skills. You should know how to
I
balance your
know.
checkbook, you know.
I know. I wish I would watch Disney Channel wishing I had home ec and all those
Yeah,
like different types of
it's
classes that
fun
would really
too.
teach you about
Yeah.
life though. Like that's another thing. Like it's being prepared for life.
Yeah. I
So
had some roommates who I swear could not boil water. Like it was
wow.
bad. It was bad. Like, oh honey.
Wow.
Because
Wow.
my mom had to have full bed rest for her pregnancies.
Oh
So
wow.
whenever she got pregnant, like we had to all sort of band together and,
Oh
make the
yeah.
family work. So we
Yeah.
ended up doing quite a bit of cooking. And also, like, if there was ever going to be like, if I ever got the choice of what chore do I want to do, I would way rather like do the cooking than most of the other
Mm,
chores. So that's,
yeah.
I'll volunteer, I'll volunteer.
Yeah.
So we all uh did a lot of cooking, and yeah, and we had this, one of my favorite memories growing up is when I was in high school. My siblings and we did this cooking contest where we spent literally like the whole summer like planning out these recipes, and it was awesome. And my parents, they gave us each like a little small appliance, like a toaster, like a small thing for doing
Oh,
it. Yeah, it was really cute. And but we learned so much from that. I learned how to make pasta from that. I learned how to make ice cream, like just a lot of skills from
you
that.
learn how to make ice cream?
Learned how to make ice cream from that. Yeah, I mean, it was just really fun.
So
And
you have a different perspective when it comes to these ice cream movies because there's one coming out
yeah,
with
that's true.
Taylor Cole coming out, and I'm very interested
Yeah.
to hear what you have to say
Well,
about that
I
ice
have
cream
to admit,
movie.
I'm excited for that movie, for it in general, but for because Jack's our friend,
Yeah,
Jack McCullers in it, so I'm excited about that.
Jack, so excited.
Yeah, but I am a little hesitant though, because that Italy ice cream movie they made,
Woof.
wow, was that bad?
Woo.
That was,
I would probably watch this again over
oh, no question, no question. That one
for
was
sure.
so boring. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, that one
Yeah,
was
yeah,
brutal,
yeah. Yeah, yeah,
brutal. Yeah. That it wasn't quite as bad as the Staring at Walls movie, but it was in competition.
yeah. I agree with you there. I
Yeah,
agree with
but
you there.
anyway, so yeah, then she apologizes for being a jerk to the brother because he had wanted to propose on Machu Picchu, but then somebody else was proposing
Yeah.
there, and so it kind of took the wind out of his sails. So that was a, kind of a bummer. But then he she apologizes and she says, you don't need a big proposal, just be with each other.
Hmm.
And and then he says to her, I want to be with you, but it scares me.
That I I love that line.
Yeah, that was a good line.
That's a really good because it feels so honest. That was
Yeah, she
probably
says
one
that.
thing that I was like,
Yeah,
I can give it a couple points for that.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then he says there isn't a secret ingredient, and I was waiting for him to be like, the secret ingredient is love.
Love, yes! This is
Wasn't
what happens when you start watching too many
it?
Hallmark.
Yeah, right.
Because then it's like you become AI and start to try to fill in
Yeah.
what you think they're going to say next.
And then they kiss and the brother proposes. He's like, this is incredible. You are incredible. So,
I did think it felt like it ended twice before it actually
yeah.
ended.
Mhm.
That was another thing, and that's happened with quite a few movies as of late, like where it felt like there were multiple endings.
Yeah.
Given how when they did the kiss, but it's like, oh, we're not finished, and then there's more. And it's like, oh, we're still not finished, and there's more. And
Yeah.
that's how this movie felt. It felt like it had multiple endings.
So I give this one 2.5
Oof,
rounds. Yeah, 2.5.
I gave it 1.5. One for Machu, one for
I
Pichu.
do I do really like the leads. I just wish that they'd had a better script.
Yeah, because he was in that Christmas letter movie with the
Yeah.
lady from the like he was so charming in that.
Yeah,
So
they've
I was,
both been, when they are allowed to lean into the comedy,
yes,
it works. So don't be afraid of that, Hallmark. Don't be afraid
yeah,
of that.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about Villa Amore.
Oof,
Okay, so this was on the 21st. It stars
oof.
Eloise Mumford and Kevin McGarry, director Claire Niederprum, writers Alexandra Koskas and Betsy Morris. Liara goes to Italy and impulsively buys the villa where her parents met. She soon learns she is in way over her head and must ask a lawyer turned handyman to help her renovate. And I watched this movie and I really kind of felt like, what else could you possibly want from a Hallmark movie? I mean, I'm not saying it's perfect, but like this just checks all the boxes
I mean,
for an entertaining Hallmark film.
don't let them know how to dance and cook. Oh, I loved it so much.
Yes. I mean, it is interesting because it has a very similar plot to La Dolce Villa, which just came out on Netflix.
Yes.
That one was like a father-daughter
Yes.
story, but it did have some romance with them both having romance arcs. But as far as like them both renovating villas,
right. I clocked it as soon as I read it.
Both, you know, so they were somewhat similar, but I think both worked really well. And this, I think, worked very well. Eloise is so likable. I was thinking about it, and like, I don't know if she's ever made a bad Hallmark movie.
She hasn't, Rachel. She's one of those ones. It doesn't matter what the movie is about when she's in it, it elevates. Like it is good. I feel like Bethany Joy Lenz is another one where it's like she's never been in a bad movie, in my opinion. Like she's just been great. Eloise
I mean, great. She picks projects very well. The Presence of Love is so good.
That's my favorite.
It's so good. That one was very underrated. Kind of flew under the radar. Sweeter Than Chocolate was super fun. One December Night was really good.
Dalton, are you kidding me?
To have Bruce Campbell in a Hallmark movie, of course. I mean, really, she has not done a bad Hallmark movie. Just in Time for Christmas.
Is she one with Mark Blucas? Am I making that up? Am I thinking about somebody else?
She was in Christmas with Holly, which is so good. That's a Hall of Famer.
Ooh.
That one's really good. Yeah. The Veterans Christmas, that was decent. No, I don't see one with Mark Blucas.
I'm thinking of Veterans Christmas.
Her probably weakest one is probably The Baker's Son, but that was bonkers. So
that was
fun.
her?
Yes.
I didn't even remember that was her. Wow.
Yes, that one was insane, but it was pretty entertaining.
It was holidays before holidays became a thing. It was so
holidays with magic bread.
There you go.
Magic bread. But anyway, she has a very good eye for scripts. So way to go, Eloise.
Track record is flawless.
Yeah, very, very good. And the only thing I think that would have made this movie better is I do kind of wish they had cast an Italian. I think Kevin McGarry is super charming in this role. He's good. So not a deal, but I think it would have been even better if you'd had a swooning Italian guy.
You know who I would submit? Do you remember A Very Venice Romance? I would submit him.
Yeah,
he is very captivating.
Yep.
Looks you in your eyes, through to your soul. I would totally put him in it.
So there's this. Did you ever watch Survival of the Thickest?
Oh no, but that's with Michelle Buteau. I've heard of it.
Yes, and they had this guy Luca on the show.
Okay.
And he was so dreamy. He was really good. So I think if they are looking for somebody in Italy, Luca. Yeah, Luca from Survival of the Thickest. Check it out. Really good. But that would have made it, I think, just a hair better.
Yeah. But I mean, like you said, this ticks all the boxes, crosses all the T's, dots all the I's. Literally, this one is probably, because A Very Venice Romance right now is my favorite, like, Hallmark Italy movie. But this is rivaling that real hard.
I like this better than Venice because that girl, the lead, I don't like as much as Eloise.
I can understand. She did come like have a little bit of a like hard shell. I feel like
she was a little bossy.
Yeah, I could.
I liked it, but this I think is even better. And you have her going to Italy after she gets dumped by her fiance. This is going to be her honeymoon. She's going and she sees this advertisement for the villa that her parents got married at or engaged. And so on a whim, she decides to purchase for €1, and then finds out there's all this fine print with this purchase that comes along with it. And so you're kind of, it's a little bit of a scam.
Yeah.
And that they have. And so she gets to work. She gets working. And Kevin McGarry in this movie is your classic man of many jobs. Like the person
jack of all
like,
trades.
He's just like good at everything. He's like always available, and that's classic Hallmark, because of course her boyfriend at the beginning is just like the stuffed suit, the bad man of business, which is like the total opposite to the man with many jobs, right? And so, but he was totally that in this movie, and he is very good at that. Like, one movie that I like way more than most is the Christmas Scavenger Hunt that he's in, and he is like the ultimate in that movie of the man with many jobs.
Oh, okay.
Literally every scene that you see him in that movie is doing a different job.
We'd like to take a second and thank our sponsor for this episode of the podcast. It's the Hallmarkies merch store.
Are you looking for that perfect gift for the postable, Hardy, or Hallmarky in your life?
What about getting that t-shirt or hoodie that will help you stand out at your next holiday party?
Now is the time to check out the Hallmarkies merch store.
Full of festive designs by artists like Jessica Miller, Carrie from Hallmark Comics, and more.
You can even have more than just shirts, but totes, cell phone cases, notebooks, mugs, and more.
And it isn't just Hallmark. We have designs for Anna Green Gables, Man from Snowy River, The Nanny, and more.
Every purchase at the merch store goes to help support the podcast and allows us to make the great content you know and love.
There are frequent sales, so go to tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies or see the link in the description.
That's tpublic.com/stores/Hallmarkies.
And we love Kevin McGarry for it, because somebody got to do it. Somebody got to do it.
He is a very handsome man.
Listen, the camera don't lie, because this year I'm not a card carrying McGarry, but like I root for him because I've seen his other projects. Like, what was that one? Autumn Stables with Cindy Busby, which I think is fantastic.
Yeah, that's a good one.
A Lifetime one that had to do, was it like a corgi something or other? That was really good. And the one he did with Erin Cahill, Lifetime, really good. And so, but the Hallmark ones I've seen.
Oh, I love that one with him and Erin Cahill.
Yes.
It's the Christmas Batman movie. That's what I call it. Yes.
Because it's like
he's like Bruce Wayne.
Right. Like this anonymous, but like ridiculously rich, rich man.
That's
but
so good.
I don't watch When Calls the Heart. And so all I've seen and that I get from him is the movies that they give us. And I haven't been really impressed yet, but this one here, I said, come on, let's go. We're getting
there were a lot of like really swoony moments that were fun. Like when the sexy olive oil press scene, like, I always love when they manage to have the over the shoulder kind of, moments like, oh, that's getting really cozy when you're squeezing the oil out of these olives.
I think the swooniest one, well, there's two swooniest ones that are going to go into the Hallmark Cinema Hall of Fame. The Swoon Award is like, he picks her up after she falls off that ladder, Rachel.
Yeah.
He carries her.
It was this very swoony moment. He literally picks her up and
carries.
Like, and that was very good. That was very, very good.
And then when our ex-fiance comes, he actually, instead of like leaving and feeling like, oh, well, they're probably going to get back together, he stays there. And he's like, what are you doing here? She don't want you to. I said, this is what it should be like. This is what it should be like. No more like misunderstanding, assumptions. Say it with your chest. Say what you want to say. Say what you mean, how you feel.
Yeah. But there was like a heart to the whole thing as well, because when she says that I want my dad back, I want
that
this village.
Tore me up.
Yeah.
Because she just started crying about I think everything kind of hit her all at once.
Yeah.
And like she's so good at that.
And I like the whole name 5 things you see. That
Oh,
was
to overcome
sweet.
that was a callback to
The
Presence of Love
anxiety.
for me. Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, wow, this is another movie that kind of hints a little bit about dealing with anxiety and panic. I clocked that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then he holds her hand. Then that was very sweet. Thank you for taking care of me. Oh. I'm in general, I'm totally fine like being single, and I'm pretty independent. I'm fine with that. But I have to admit, the one time that I wish, and I think it's actually not even really wishing for a companion, it's wishing that I could be like mothered and taken care of. It's when I get sick. Then I'm like, oh, I'm all alone. It's so nobody here,
Yeah.
And that's when I'm getting when you're injured or sick, that's when you feel the loneliness. You feel it acutely.
Yeah, because you can't do for yourself because you all you got at that. And so when you can't, it's like, man, like I totally resonate with
I
that.
need somebody to make me soup.
Yes. Oh, I gotta go get the mail. I gotta go do this. Yeah.
And I loved the whole football in the square was really fun.
Oh,
and that was very enjoyable. And then when she says, I love this villa, I love Norina, I love Bocce, and I love you. Oh, that was so cute. And she didn't even realize that she was saying it. And he thinks that she's still with this other guy. And so then he's talking, he's like, so you're available to be kissed? It's great.
That whole moment on the beach was beautiful.
Yeah, it was so
beautiful.
Good. Yeah. And then there were some fun little side characters, like her neighbor who's pregnant and then has the baby.
Yes, I love that.
Fun.
That budding friendship was really cute.
Yeah. Like if they were doing if this was a pilot to a TV show, I would watch this TV show.
I told my mom this yesterday. I said, Mom, this needs to be a series. I literally just told her that yesterday. Yes, I would watch it.
So then she sent this offer. Of course, bad man of business wants to buy the villa. And everybody's kind of mean to her at the town because they think that she's gonna be a sellout, basically.
Yeah.
And so she's considering it, and then she's like, no, I'm not gonna do it. And then like the whole town comes after her, like at the train station and everything. It was so cute. And she gets the residency application. It's just, I just didn't want to leave you.
Oh, that part was so great. I remember yelling at the TV, not the whole town running with her. I was so that part was cute. Very cute.
Really good. Really good. And he says, home for me is wherever you are.
Come on.
I mean, what do you want? Like, I do sort of feel like if you don't like this movie, at least a little bit, if you can't see the appeal, then I just feel like these aren't for you.
Yeah.
They can't, I don't think that they can make them much better than this.
No, I'd be hard pressed to think. I mean, they got their work cut out for them. But I do believe in Summer Nights. I feel like Summer Nights delivers. Like we had
We've had some really good ones. It's true.
So I have my eggs in Summer Nights basket.
Yeah, that's true. There have been some really good ones.
Yeah.
Well, I would give this one five crowns, full
five all around.
Great. I loved it. I definitely watch it again.
Yep. And twice on Sundays. Yeah.
Good job. Good job, all involved. Way to go.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Let's quickly talk about Pie to Die For, Hannah Swensen mystery.
Yeah.
So this one is, of course, it stars Alison Sweeney, Victor Webster. When Hannah's customer and Dolores' theater rival is murdered, Hannah must find her killer in order to save her mother's reputation. Chad and Hannah's romance blossoms. So where are you at on the Hannah Swensen / Murder, She Baked series as a whole? What do you think about them?
I overall like Murder, She Baked better than Hannah Swensen because they're cozier for me. Mm-hmm. And I will say it's hard. The one thing that continues to knock me out of the Hannah Swensen mysteries now a little bit and I try to suspend, reality, but it's very hard for me to digest the necessity of Chad being there when he's a district. Like, that is very hard for me to reconcile.
Yes, it was a little bit less distracting in this one
Distracting's a good word. Yeah.
because Norman wasn't in this one.
Yeah.
And because I'm team Norman. I'm like, I don't understand the need for Chad as a character. You literally had a love triangle. You had another person that she could be with. So if Mike's leaving, then just have her be with Norman. Like,
yeah.
I just, it's bizarre to me. Like, she can't be with a dentist. I don't understand.
I think
have
it's
her
just
be with Norman.
I think bizarre. It's them just putting in another Hallmark lead that could probably draw eyes. And I know
it would be so much better if like things were getting cute with Norman. And I just don't understand. And like, you could tell that they have heard the complaints about Chad, because they were really trying in this movie to frame him in a different light.
Because, I have never seen him act like this.
Well, it's just that it doesn't make sense narratively for him to be a prosecutor. That was a very weird decision, because the prosecutors are not part of investigations.
Correct.
Like, they might be part of like a grand jury that is looking into something, maybe, but like, you think about the beginning of Law and Order, if you have the prosecutors who prosecute and the detectives who solve the cases. Mm-hmm. That's the way it is. And so it really doesn't make sense narratively for Chad to be involved at all. And so you have to like, it's just weird. It was a weird choice, and it was weird to have him at all. And then what they did with this, so they were trying with this one to make him like deputized. They even had him have a badge, and it was,
I saw that,
weird. But I think that was a direct response to the complaints.
Yeah. I think because Allison and Victor do so well, and like the Wedding Veil legacy like was just amazing, and I think they got such a good reception from that. I think putting Victor with Allison again is that, I think that was a choice for the fans. But how they wrote him in, much like what you said, I think that for me as a viewer, it's hard for me to reconcile that, because it feels like it doesn't fit. And then the Hannah Swensen movies in general haven't been as cozy, which is why I really liked Murder, She Baked. I felt like they're a little bit grittier, and Lake Eden feels bigger. In a
but if she was with Norman, it would be a lot cozier.
Well, we wouldn't know that until they
I just think it would, because their relationship had already progressed to a certain point, right? As opposed to with Chad, where you're starting from zero. So like, it would be easier for it to be and so it's very strange. I mean, I understand that Gabriel Hogan is on Heartland, and so maybe there's some there's some nervousness about that, that he's done so many of these movies that I don't know. I don't get it. But like, I felt like Barbara Niven was, I mean, I think her back probably hurt for how much she was carrying this movie. She was,
I love her
like,
so much.
She was so fun, and she was trying so hard. Like, she was just really delivering. And I wish that they hadn't had Laura Soltis be the murder victim, because I think that rivalry between the two of them could have been really funny.
My gosh, yes.
Yeah, like so I wish it had been the Tory lady that had been murdered. Like, that would have been, and then you would have seen like the back and forth between Laura and Barbara's character.
Yes,
that would have been hilarious and entertaining. But as it was completely obvious from the very beginning that Tory was the murderer. There was never a moment of doubt for me. I thought that the red herrings were like pretty fun, over the top personalities, and so I liked it, but I didn't. I was pretty sure from pretty early on that Tory was the murderer. It's always somebody that's like on the side, it's never like the first suspect. It's never, and obviously it's not Dolores. We know that. So like,
right.
And anyway, so I did think it was pretty obvious, but I had fun with almost anything that was Barbara Niven related in this. Like I just thought she was really giving it her all.
Oh, her drama is what I aspire to be now. Like how how Dolores acted in this movie is how I aspire to be in my real life. Like I loved every minute of it. Every minute.
I felt like particularly weak was the whole sort of Jennifer's cousin.
Yeah.
And the fact that they had the same purse. I'm like,
and they made her
like, I get it.
Sketchy.
It's like a special purse, but like, come on. It's not that special.
Yeah. But they really put on the Ritz with making her like look at the toolbox or whatever was under the counter. Yeah. And then
but they kept coming back to, but the purse, she's got the same purse. And I'm like,
yeah.
What? She finds the purse in the dumpster. It's like, it's just getting, the purse was a big deal. They made a lot.
It was cute too though. But I think the ending wasn't as satisfactory because I felt like they did a really good job. Like the momentum fell flat for me at the end when it's just like, oh yeah, I found about the dumpster.
Yeah, and I have a feeling that there were scenes with Eduardo that got cut.
Who's Eduardo for the people who may not have seen it yet? Because I love that. I love
it. Because that was like her sole motivation. She was like, it was my dance class. It was my connection with Eduardo. And then she ruined everything.
I didn't feel that.
And like Victoria came in and ruined everything. And it's like, you were barely in this dance class, like hardly at all. So we had no idea that would be a motivation because it
eloquently put. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. That was probably one of my favorite.
But I did love when she says, "How dare you quote Shakespeare to me?" That was hilarious. That was really funny.
Do you have a favorite scene from this?
I did think the dancing was cute. When Chad and Hannah were dancing.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a great line. How dare you quote Shakespeare to me? That was really funny.
I really enjoyed Andrea. Is that the older sister's name? And Hannah when they were getting ready for Chad and Hannah's first date, and then he came early, and she was like,
that was fun. You're right.
And she threw the hair clips, which I don't think they. Because she was just like, oh, okay. And then she just like, that's probably my favorite scene of the whole thing. I hollered. I laughed a lot. Like I laughed a lot during this.
Everybody on Twitter was talking all about them eating these giant cookies as big as their face, which made me laugh.
Yes. And how much Dolores loves these cookies. And Hannah always like, she just took when she came to the French class, she just had one in her purse and was like, here, Mom.
Also, Dolores's disguise was hilarious.
Oh, the janitor
with the beard and everything. That was really funny.
I hollered. I said you were like literally Dolores is in it to win it. She's in it to win it. That's another one of my favorite scenes. This was really like, this is the type of comedy that almost reminded me of Cases of Mystery Lane. Because I said, I have not really laughed this much during a mystery since, except for Cases at Mystery Lane, which is supposed to be a comedy. Like this isn't even supposed to be that comedic.
That's true. I like it when they lean into the camp when they're a little silly. I prefer that over the ones trying to be all gritty and serious and whatever. It's Murder She Baked. Like, give me a break. So seriously. But yeah, I would give Barbara Niven 5 crowns. She's awesome. She really brought it. She tried her best. As far as the mystery of it all, I would probably give this a 3.
Okay. I think as a whole, I give it a 4. I enjoyed myself while watching it. The mystery can take it or leave it. Like, I feel like the mystery is replaceable, but I think the story built around the mystery is what I love the most of this.
Yeah. I mean, I just wish that we'd gotten more of the rivalry. I think that could have been
Yeah.
really fun between the two
Yeah,
of
yeah,
them
yeah.
because I love both those actresses so much,
Yeah.
and it could have been fun. But yeah, I it was watchable, but I feel like everybody's kind of done, but we're still gonna keep getting them. But
Well, we haven't gotten a lot of mysteries at all this year for real because they
mm,
just like we were supposed to get Mystery Island
that was so
and
bizarre.
okay, like in the beginning of the month, and then they decided against it only 2 weeks before it was supposed to air,
It's
and
crazy.
instead gave us our third Allison Sweeney. I ain't mad, but like gave us our third Allison Sweeney of the month.
Yeah.
I was like, that's a
Yeah.
choice. That was a
That was
choice.
a choice. Yeah, I don't know if the Hallmarkies listeners, if they understand, this is not normal.
No, no,
This
no,
is
no,
not
no,
this is not
no,
normal network behavior to
no.
pull a movie that you have full graphics for, you have full everything for. Like
You've been doing press for, like
you're
you've
doing
pumped
press
this in
for,
social media.
yeah, like that is not normal.
No, not in the least bit. That shocked me. And then I
So
saw on
bizarre.
Facebook, so because someone mentioned it because they were promoting a previous Mystery Island. They were like,
Well,
well, wait,
and
what
then
happened to the other one?
and then they totally ghost us as fans. They pretend like what movie? We weren't talking about
No,
that
so
movie.
that's what I was going to say. They actually responded to someone on Facebook. I screenshotted it because that's the
Oh,
type of
they
person I am.
did? That's
They
rare.
actually responded to someone on Facebook and said that they're pushing it to a later date, like a later air date. So it's supposed to come out eventually, but to what logic I know not of in terms of that
Because
whole
you
thing.
remember that it was like a country western one with Jesse Schramm and Niall Mater. I can't remember what it was called, but
A mystery?
No, just regular. But they rescheduled it 3 times.
No, I don't remember that.
What's it called?
That's
Jesse
nuts.
Schramm with brown hair. Country at Heart, it was called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It got pushed back 3 times. And and then they would just pretend like, oh, that wasn't on the schedule. What are you talking about? I'm like, what? And it was frustrating because we had interviewed Jesse for that, and we kept having to. So by the time they actually aired it, it had been like a year since our interview.
That is nuts.
Yes, it was a mess.
That's bonkers.
But anyway, so yeah, it was overall though, it was a good June for Hallmark.
Strong month.
The Barcelona movies. You want to check out the recap I did with me and Jasmine on that. Those were both really good, and then Villa Amore was great. So definitely take a look at that and let us know what you think about all three. We'd definitely be curious for your thoughts.
Yes.
And what are you all coming up on your pod and going on?
Oh, well, it is Christmas in July at Dear Hallmark. So because Hallmark isn't giving us anything new, I said, all right, we got to get creative over here. So I've cooked up some special Christmas episodes. I'm doing a Purple Label Christmas episode. So this is going to be a very contentious episode because it's my take on the top shelf Hallmark Christmas movies, like within the past 10 years. Like I'm going there. It's the top 12. And this is objectively. So this is not my favorites. These are movies that I feel like I can sit my friends down and they have no choice but to enjoy it because it's that good. That's just a little bit of some of the stuff that I have coming out. And I have some interviews with some special guests coming out throughout the month. So just some merriment and cheer and shenanigans.
Keep us posted for sure. And you can find me at Rachel's Reviews, all of our social media, iTunes, YouTube, and on Rotten Tomatoes. I can't talk. Check that out. Also, make sure you're following the podcast, Hallmarkies Podcast, all of our social media. And if you are listening on iTunes, please leave your ratings and reviews. That is the best way you can help both of our podcasts. Is just take a second, leave those reviews, 5 stars. It really helps a lot. And then we also, if you are watching on YouTube, please give the video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. That helps us a lot. We're getting closer and closer to 10K subscribers, and that would be so exciting. to get there. So please help us. And we have the Patreon group, which is really fun. This month, we are going to have voice actress Natalie Gilbert with us as our Q&A guest. So if you've ever been curious, she's done a lot of advertisement reads for us. And she has an incredible voice. And I just thought it would be something different and fun so that any level patron can join in on those activities. Plus, we have lots of other benefits, early episodes, bonus episodes. I really try to make it worth your while to invest in the podcast. And we appreciate that so much. And then the merch store where we have tons of fun Hallmark inspired designs. So check that out. And thanks so much, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.